Welcome back to Draft Genius, and it's time for another scouting report video. In this video, we'll take a look at the 4 top offensive line prospects coming out in the 2020 NFL Draft. Mekhi Becton from the University of Louisville, Tristan Wirfs from the University of Iowa, Andrew Thomas from the University of Georgia, and Jedrick Wills from the University of Alabama. All of these guys could potentially be off the board within the top 15 picks, and all have a chance to be day one starters in the NFL. So let's take a look at these guys and see if they have what it takes to make it at the next level. Let's start with Mekhi Becton, left tackle from Louisville. Mekhi Becton has probably been the most talked about guy since the season ended, and rightfully so. He's a massive human being, standing at 6'7" and weighing 364 pounds. Once projected as a late first round to second round pick, he's risen up the draft boards and more than likely will be a top 15 pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. Becton is the biggest of all the top offensive tackle prospects, and that's probably the main reason he's so intriguing. By default, defenders are going to have issues getting around him because of his sheer size and length. Being as massive as he is, he should have no problem moving guys around, especially in the run game. It will be pretty difficult for anyone to knock him back, and when he does get his hands on guys, good luck getting free. Becton has shown that he can move relatively well for his size. He's far from just a big body out there lumbering around on the field. This has been brought up by many people, but I'm going to bring it up again. Becton is close to 370 pounds, and it's fair to question whether or not he'll be able to handle this weight properly. In my opinion, I think Becton could stand to lose 20 pounds or so. I think he might be more effective and he'd be able to move far better than he does. I mentioned before that he moves relatively well for his size. Emphasis on relatively well. While he does move better than most would be able to at that size, I still don't think it's enough to be considered the top tackle prospect in this draft. I think he'll have some issues dealing with some of the more athletic edge rushers in the NFL. Edge rushers that are getting more and more athletic each year. Overall, Becton has tremendous upside, but he's far from a sure thing. I think of the top tackle prospects coming out in this draft, I would rank him behind Jedrick Wills, Andrew Thomas, and Tristan Wirfs. A lot of teams will be intrigued by his size though. You can't teach 6'7", 360 pounds, and those guys just don't grow on trees. Becton definitely still has some work to do if he wants to be a franchise-changing left tackle. Next, we have Tristan Wirfs, right tackle out of Iowa. Wirfs has been going back and forth as the top tackle prospect in this draft, depending on who you ask. He had a tremendous outing at the NFL Scouting Combine, impressing everyone by running a 4.85 in the 40-yard dash, which is insane for a guy his size. He also did very well in the on-the-field drills, but the NFL Combine is one thing, and the on-the-field play is another. Watching Wirfs on film, you can definitely see why he's considered one of the top tackle prospects coming out in the 2020 NFL Draft. Wirfs is a guy that gives you the best of both worlds. He's good in pass protection, quick out of his stance, and he has good enough lateral movement ability to handle the skilled edge rushers of today's NFL. He's also strong enough in his upper and lower body to anchor down and not get pushed back into the quarterback's lap. What stands out to me the most is his lower body strength. He has massive tree trunks for legs, and that lower body strength definitely shows up for Wirfs in the run game, which I think is the strength of his game. He's big, he's strong, but most importantly, he has a nastiness to him. He's absolutely trying to destroy guys in the run game, and once he's attached, he's like a bulldozer and gets great movement on defenders. He's also very comfortable on the move from what I've seen, and he should have no problems pulling or blocking defenders in space. Overall, Wirfs is a great offensive line prospect. He played right tackle for the Hawkeyes, but he has played on the left side as well. He's even moved around back and forth between the two during games, so I don't think he'll have any problem being able to play right tackle or left tackle. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up in the NFL. Andrew Thomas, left tackle from Georgia, is a guy that I feel like has been going under the radar since the season ended. Georgia has been pumping out running backs for what seems like forever now. Over the past 3 seasons, Andrew Thomas has been a part of an offensive line that has produced a number of NFL backs, including Sony Michel, Nick Chubb, and Elijah Holyfield. DeAndre Swift is the next back who's going to be coming out of Georgia, and he's arguably the best running back prospect coming out in the 2020 NFL Draft. Andrew Thomas played a big part in all of these guys' success at Georgia. Andrew Thomas has great size and length. He's similar to Tristan Wirfs, where he's a guy that gives you the best of both worlds. In pass protection, he jumps out of his stance very quickly, and at that size, he's going to be a load to try to beat around the edge. He has great lateral movement skills and rarely seems to be out of position. I think Thomas is a guy that will also be effective in the screen game and in any pin and pull scheme because he can get out and move relatively well in space. He's not the best in this area, but he's not bad either. In the run game, Thomas just moves bodies. Simple as that. Not only does he have the strength and power to get movement in the run game, but he's nasty. Something that I like to see in every offensive lineman. He strikes with violence and aggression, and he makes sure he always finishes blocks. He does an excellent job of driving his legs, and overall in the run game, he plays with a downhill mentality. Those are the types of things you love to see out of your offensive lineman. Thomas overall is an interesting prospect because a lot of people had him as the top guy during the season, but he's somewhat faded into the background as of late. He's another guy that has a significant amount of snaps at both right and left tackle, so he should have no problem playing either spot in the NFL. I would not be shocked at all if Andrew Thomas ended up being the best tackle to come out of this group of guys. He clearly has that type of ability. Some people may not agree, but in my opinion, Andrew Thomas is the best tackle coming out in the 2020 NFL Draft, and he should be the first tackle off the board. The last guy that I'm going to talk about is Jedrick Wills, right tackle from Alabama. He's another guy that's been fighting for that top spot amongst these offensive tackles. He's been playing right tackle at Alabama most likely because his quarterback was a lefty, but I think he could easily shift over to the other side and be just as effective. I honestly think Jedrick Wills is the best pass protector of all the tackles that I've discussed so far. He's extremely quick out of his stance, and he'll jump out on edge rushers, not allowing for easy access to the quarterback. He doesn't quite have the length of the other tackles, but he makes up for it with his lateral quickness and overall athletic ability. Wills rarely gets beat around the edge, and even when the edge rusher does get a jump on him, he has the quickness and athletic ability to recover. While I don't think he's a bad run blocker, he's not a mauler like some of these other guys. His calling card is his athleticism. He does a great job on combination blocks, getting movement at the first level and quickly climbing to the second level to block flowing linebackers. He's great on the move as well. While Tristan Wirfs impressed everyone at the combine with his athleticism, I think Jedrick Wills is honestly the best athlete in the group, and it shows on film. If you're looking for an elite pass protector with elite athleticism for the position, then Wills is your guy. He may not have an elite frame, his arms are a bit shorter, his legs are really skinny as well, so I wonder how strong he is in his lower body. He's a guy that's a technician in my eyes that relies on that to win as opposed to overwhelming size or strength. These 4 offensive tackle prospects are the best and most notable of this class, and they couldn't be any more different guys if you ask me. They all bring a little something different to the table. I could see all of these guys being all-pro players, but I could also see a couple of them busting out of the league in a few years. There's always a need for good offensive linemen, and if you're a team that's looking for a potential tackle of the future or a franchise-changing type of guy, chances are you'll be in luck with one of these guys. So, do you agree or disagree with this breakdown of these 4 offensive linemen? Let me know in the comments and let me know what you think about these guys' game. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. See you next time, and always remember, film don't lie.